detachment which saw them out of office and further proceedings in the street, and that whatever decision Jumbo has taken while in office should be set aside. And by also asking for an accelerated hearing in the matter while contending that the order made by the trial court was without jurisdiction. In the response, Honorable Marley and others pressed the court to dismiss the appeal for lacking in merit because the records that have been transmitted according to them were incompetent. After listening to the submission of the lawyers in the appeal, the three-man panel by Justice Jimmy Olukayode reserved a date for judgment to be communicated to parties in the suit. The appellate court had in a ruling on June 14 ordered that all parties in the suit maintain status quo and says every form of hostilities until the matter is heard and decided. It appears we had a newly sworn in Caretaker Committee chairman hitting the ground running as chairman for the 23 local government areas reversed have assumed duties, the swearing of their members and dissolution of all standing committees in their respective councils. Also, the chairman dissolved all task forces set up by the Project Council chairman, even as they pledged to pay all outstanding salaries owed to their predecessors.
Kana local government area, the newly sworn-in Caretaker Committee Chairman Marvin Yobana promised to run an all-inclusive government where young people, the elderly and women will be empowered. 11 years after the award of Bodo Bonny Road contract, the people of Bonny Island in Rivers will soon have reliable access road to Bodo Town, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the payment of the final tranche of 280 billion naira for the completion of the Bodo Bonny Road, South Nigeria. And the road, when completed, will enhance the socio-economic prospects of the two communities of Rivers State. The Minister of Works, Mr. David Umai, during an inspection tour of the project on Wednesday, charged the contractor handling the project, Julius Berger Nigeria PLC, to work round the clock to beat the project delivery timeline of December 2024. Now, this was contained in a statement signed and issued by Special Advisor Honorable Oji Uchenna Aji in Abuja. He, however, enjoined the contractor to ensure that no further excuses were given on the project delivery timeline. The federal government will not approve further funds for the project for any reason. Let's now shift our attention to Edo State, where the suspended Edo lawmakers may soon be returning to the House, as the State House of Assembly has set up a committee to look into the suspension of 3 lawmakers. You will recall that the Assembly on May 6 suspended the lawmakers over an alleged plot to impeach the Speaker, Honorable Blessing Akpebagu, and other principal officers. The Speaker announced the suspension at the resumption of plenary in Benin as the lawmakers reduced to 21 because of the development. Speaking while briefing newsmen on the activities of the Assembly in the last year on Wednesday, the Speaker said a committee had been set up to look into their suspension, adding that his report would state the next line of action. He said the Assembly passed 16 bills and over 44 resolutions in 1 year, adding that the bills had impacted the state politically, socially, and economically. The Edo State government appears to be taking bold reforms to stop human trafficking and irregular migration in the state. In January 2017, the International Office of Migration revealed that Edo State had about 30,000 young Edo boys and girls in Libya trying to cross to Europe. While speaking to journalists in Benin City, the Edo State capital, Governor Godwin Obaseki said that his administration has, in the last 7.5 years, undertaken reforms and programs that have restored the hope of the Edo people. The governor, who went down memory lane, said back then every rig, every ship and every vessel that moved from the Tangier to Sicily or wherever always had their people. He said the reforms were able to deter young and vibrant youths from taking the perilous journey through the desert to Europe. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Edo State appears to be repositioning ahead of Edo governorship polls. The State Working Committee of the PDP has expelled a former Deputy Governor of the state, Mr. Philip Schreiber, for alleged anti-party activities. The PDP SWC also expelled the South-South Vice Chairman, Dan Abe, while it also upheld the expulsion of a former member of the House of Representatives, Amaregie Ogiede Ihama, by Ward 2 around the local government area. The decisions were taken on Wednesday at the PDP SWC meetings in Benin. According to SWC, Mr. Shaibu donated about 15 vehicles to the All Progressive Congress, while Mr. Dan Agbe was expelled because he has been asking members of the PDP to join the opposition party. He also took an appointment as a governing council member of a third-tier institution without recourse to the party before accepting the appointment. Also, the Edo State government is leaving no stone unturned in getting to the root cause of the rape and murder of a graduate of the University of Benin, Uniben, Glory Adeklore, in Iyowa community, Benin City, on Monday. Now, 22-year-old Miss Adeklore was said to have been on her way home from processing her clearance when she was tortured and raped to death by yet-to-be-identified persons and remains dropped close to her mother's house. Governor Godwin Obaseki, in a statement by the Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Chris Nehigare, expressed shock and sadness over the incident and ordered the State Commissioner of Police to fish out the perpetrators of the act in 7 days. A social media user who tweets from Asat Baba 24 claimed the deceased, who was his younger sister, was returning home from school when the incident happened. Now, away from Edo State to Akwa Ibom, where the State House of Assembly is worried by the lack of toilet and water facilities in most public primary and secondary schools, and has urged the state government to visit affected learning centers and provide necessary solutions. And this follows a matter of urgent public importance raised by the member representing Oran State constituency, Honorable Torobong Etam, where she noted that provisions of the Child Rights Act 2008 are not fully utilized. Now, Honorable Etam, who added that female students are the worst hit, especially during their monthly period, added that these may encourage truancy by some students who may use it as an excuse to leave the school compound in search of convenience.
Aware that under the Arise agenda of His Excellency Pastor Mo Eno's administration, sound educational and health sector management are key components. Further aware that the child rights law seeks to, among other things, consider paramount the best interest of the child in all actions, and that the child shall be given protection and care as is necessary for the well-being of the child. Concerned that many public schools within our state do not have public toilets and potable water, which is inimical to a healthy learning environment and goes contrary to the provision of the child rights law. Worried that this lack can cause preventable harm, like students, pupils leaving the school compound during school hours looking for drinking water, conveniences to use, and may run into problems. And this may further cause outbreak of diseases. Further worried that students and pupils may also use the guise of convenience and thirst to loiter and break bounds, further promoting lawlessness.
While deliberating on the floor of the House, members of the House called for adherence to the full tenet of the 2008 Child Rights Law, as the presence of toilet and water facilities will combat tropical diseases.
So I look at this motion very important for us to lend our voice. But it's important that we drum into the ears of the Ministry of Education to take it as a matter of urgent public importance, that every schools in Akwa Ibom State, whether it's a public school or private school, must be provided with toilet facilities to help combat neglected tropical diseases. Because where we allow it continuously is going to affect the life of our wards that we send to schools.
A toilet in use now that prevents infection and spread of bacteria and all that is now called ring-free toilet seats. So we could say, let's provide toilet in every secondary school, every primary school, but yet the problem still remains because the vendor would not have a specific type of toilet that he is mandated.
Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Dematon, committed the motion to the House Committee on Education to embark on an inspection tour with the State Ministry of Education and report back to the House during the next sitting.
You've heard the motion. I therefore refer this motion to House Committee on Education to do the oversight and make sure things are done properly and report to this House in 1 month. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The House thereafter proceeded on a 5-week vacation to reconvene on Tuesday, July 30, 2024. Now, as part of efforts at motivating the Akwa Ibom workforce for optimal productivity, Akwa Ibom State Head of Service Elder Ifeanyi has said that the state government would pay the agreed new minimum wage between the federal government and Nigerian Labour Congress. And Elder Sien stated this on Wednesday while fielding questions from newsmen during a press briefing to mark the 2024 Public Service Week with the theme, Stay Forward Looking, Make a Difference. This is coming at a time when the Niger Governors Forum, a peer review body of 36 state governors, said that although a new minimum wage is due, but stressed that the proposed 60,000 naira is not sustainable. The last time workers in Akwa Ibom State celebrated Public Service Week was 10 years ago. Hence, the head of service expressed gratitude to the state governor Moino for giving workers the opportunity to mark this year's Public Service Week. In order to protect the environment and restore natural waterways in the state, buildings obstructing natural waterways in Delta State will be removed. Delta State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Ejiro Jamani, shortly after his walking visit to the flood-prone localities under the immediate removal of 2 buildings reportedly obstructing natural waterways in Ijedo Quarters, Otokoto, Ugeli South Local Government Area, and Wele Street, Ogumagba in Wari South Local Government areas. The Commissioner directed the owners to demolish the structures within a specified time frame, and failure of which he said would lead to further action. Addressing journalists shortly after his walking visit to the flood-prone localities on Monday, the Commissioner expressed dismay at the present disregard for environmental regulations and the potential harm caused to the ecosystem by the buildings. Mr. Jamani said residents must do their part to complement the government's effort in ensuring a flood-free and safe environment by erecting buildings only on approved land. Let's flash our light on the interventionist agency, the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, which has embarked on a community onboarding exercise for its rice and cassava farmers empowerment program across the 9 states of the Niger Delta region. With the program, the NDDC aims to boost food security and address food scarcity in the region. The exercise kicked off with announcement from representatives of each state committing vast tracts of land for mechanized farming. Bayelsa pledged 300 hectares, Cross River State offered 400 hectares, Imo State committed 500 hectares, and River State also pledged 500 hectares. Now, speaking during the event, the Managing Director NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbogu, represented by the Executive Director of Project, Sir Victor Antai, emphasized on the need to empower local farmers, enhance agricultural productivity, and promote sustainable food systems.
This initiative is part of the proactive effort of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to empower the people of Niger Delta and promote food security in the region and Nigeria. Our flagship agricultural initiative aims to support 4,500 smallholder rice and cassava farmers with data, financing, farm inputs, mechanization, and extension services they require to sustainably produce rice and cassava to enhance their income and contribute to food sufficiency in the Niger.
The project consultant, Dr. Dimiari Kemedi, said the Rice and Cassava Farmers Empowerment Program is a landmark initiative by the NDDC to drive economic growth, create jobs, and improve livelihoods in the Niger Delta region.
Welcoming the communities and farmers who are participating in this initiative. I also add my voice to that of the communities and farmers participating in this initiative to thank the NDDC for this initiative. food security here also means affordability. This program will contribute to reducing food inflation in Niger Delta through greater availability of food and also by reducing the logistics costs associated with food production and distribution.
And before we engage on with other issues, let's take a break and return shortly. Please, don't go away.
ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop.
Are you a young adult with a passion for storytelling and content creation? Do you reside in the Niger Delta and desire to become a filmmaker or content creator?
Then you should register for the ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop, an exciting opportunity brought to you by ADBN TV. Embark on a journey to unlock your creative potential by learning the art of filmmaking, sound design, and lighting using your smartphone. This is your chance to turn your ideas into reality. So hurry now and register via our website at www.adbntv.com. But wait, that's not all. Your creations will be aired on ADBN TV, channel 258 on DSTV, 140 on StarTimes, Avo TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app, reaching audiences far and wide. And guess what? 3 lucky winners will be selected for the grand cash prize of 5 million naira.
Meet our facilitators.
Register now at www.adbntv.com and take the first step towards a future in filmmaking and content creation. ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop. Unleash your creativity.
Rebuilding trust. Manipulated and conned over time, Nigerians are confused about whom to believe. Trust is the foundation upon which organized progressive societies are built. Trust embodies important elements of life. This 5-letter word, trust, has a deep meaning for whom we are and what we have become. It means being transparent, reliable, understanding, sincere, and truthful. Without any of these elements at play, societies become chaotic and completely disorganized, while anarchy sets in. Lies, half-truth, and deception have created mistrust of the government and, by extension, impacted the everyday lives of the citizens. Many of the woes being witnessed in Nigeria today have evolved from a lack of or betrayal of trust. We must retrace our steps.
We have so many issues to deal with or to grapple with. Issues of economy, employment, poverty, and so forth and so on. And trust shouldn't be one of them.
The trust deficit is a huge problem between government and the government, individuals and their communities, politicians and their constituents, the armed forces and the civilian populations, private service providers and consumers, the courts and litigants, traditional rulers and their subjects, and even between religious institutions and their faithful. But how did we get here? And what should we do to rebuild these broken elements?
If you go to the market, I have witnessed it, where even the measuring board is, indented that way so that, it will appear full, but you're buying just half of what you're told is being displayed for sale.
Something went wrong. What, when, and how are issues needing interrogation, and these are the questions that this platform will regularly attempt to address and provide informed and cogent answers too. All human relations are based on trust. It is a hard thing to say you have lost faith in a system or humanity. When a house is defective with leaky roof, broken walls, faded paint, and non-functional amenities, of course, the right thing to do is to fix it. Join me, Sani Mohammed, and others on this platform every week as we discuss ways to rebuild trust and put our house back in order.
Delta of oil leakages has been one of the major concerns in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. Some communities have suffered many losses, and this has also affected their livelihood, career, and farming. Perhaps this has played a role in food insufficiency, as some farms may no longer feed optimally as a result of oil spilling into farms. In this recent development, the National Oil Spills Detection and Response Agency has confirmed an oil leak from the Nembe oil fields operated by ITO Eastern Exploration and Production Limited at Nembe, Bayelsa State. The head of NASDRA's field office in Yanagwa, Mr. Solomon Ubonevi, confirmed the development on Wednesday in Yanagwa. He said that the oil firm reported the incident to the agency on Tuesday, adding that the agency had deployed its officials to the spill site to ascertain the course and volume of crude oil discharge into the environment. Meanwhile, the Joy Youth Council, IYC, has expressed deep concern about the ongoing oil leakage at Nembe Creek and its detrimental effect on the host communities of Ogbolomabiri and Bazambiri in Nembe local government area of Bayelsa State. According to IYC, who spoke through the Central Zone media person Ginak Ikil, communities in coastal Brass local government area of the state are the most affected by the oil spill. IYC therefore called on IT Eastern Exploration Export Company and other multinational oil companies operating in the area, including the state and federal government, to urgently address the issue of continuous oil spill in the area. In a recent development, IT Eastern Exploration and Production Company operator of OML 29 on Wednesday announced a shorting of its Nembe oil fields following the leak. Now, IT, in a statement by its spokesperson, Janabasi Matthews, said that the field was shut as a precautionary measure to safeguard the environment from further degradation. Now, to expand on this conversation, we'll be establishing connection with our correspondent, Tempo Achinano, to bring us up to speed with the development. Hello, Tempo. Hello. Okay, Maurice is standing by to give us updates. Maurice, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Maurice, can you hear me?
Yeah, as you just mentioned, the oil spill occurred on Monday, but most of the communities in the groups woke up in the morning and experienced it on Tuesday. And several fishing camps have been affected. Although I have not been there personally to see things for myself, but from the reports yesterday, I reached out to some persons in the fishing camps, asking them to take video shots, interview some persons, and forward the video to me immediately. And yes, the incident occurred. And one major concern is the fact that ITO is setting up a tank farm, not to settle up, it has set up a tank farm at the Nembe Creek facility. Instead of transporting the crude oil through pipeline to Bonny, they have now set up a tank farm at the Nembe Creek facility where they are also loading crude oil and exporting crude oil. This concerned environmental practitioners, environmentalists like Nemo Parsi, Barrister Iniro Lewis, and others, Barrister Tima Williams. They've all come together to think about this issue of setting up a tank farm. And we are concerned about the environmental impact assessment. They have even written a letter to the Bayelsa State Ministry of Environment and other relevant agencies demanding for the environmental impact assessment report. Because, like this spill has occurred, we heard that it was due to operational failure, where two tankers somehow collided when they were loading crude oil into one of the tankers. And these are very big vessels coming into that Nembe Creek, disturbing our fishing folks from their traditional means of occupation, and our concern has just played out in terms of oil spill. So it is a major incident, and we want the environment to be properly cleaned up and remediated if GIB has been done already.
Hello, Maurice.
Hello.
You can hear me. Thank you very much for coming to the program, Maurice. All right, it's still Niger Delta today. Watch us on DSTV channel 258 and on Star Times channel 140, Avo TV app, Limexwell TV app, and Niger TV app. For more update, visit our website on www.adbntv.com. Let's now go on a short break and return for the special feature. Don't go away.
World of overwhelming voices where everyone has different opinion on different issues. It is important that we bring the core issue to the fore. Join me, Nancy Banigo, on Softline as we lend our voices to inform and influence your thoughts and actions. This is not just mere talk, it is an invocative program that touches the core of our existence.
ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop.
Are you a young adult with a passion for storytelling and content creation? Do you reside in the Niger Delta and desire to become a filmmaker or content creator?
Then you should register for the ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop, an exciting opportunity brought to you by ADBN TV. Embark on a journey to unlock your creative potential by learning the art of filmmaking, sound design, and lighting using your smartphone. This is your chance to turn your ideas into reality. So hurry now and register via our website at www.adbntv.com. But wait, that's not all. Your creations will be aired on ADBN TV, channel 258 on DSTV, 140 on Star Times, Avo TV app, Limex World TV app, and Niger TV app, reaching audiences far and wide. And guess what? 3 lucky winners will be selected for the grand cash prize of 5 million naira.
Meet our facilitators.
Register now at www.adbntv.com and take the first step towards a future in filmmaking and content creation. ADBN Smartphone Film Workshop. Unleash your creativity.
Now to Nigeria, where the Electoral Commission has declared Bola Tinubu president-elect.
In the early hours on Wednesday, Bola Tinubu had been declared the winner of this election.
Of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
They won. Hit the ground running.
From day one, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took some far-reaching decisions.
A dúpẹ́ torí pé Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí a wà nínú ìjọba àwa ara wa. Inú mi dùn kí ṣe kó bóyá àwọn ológun ló ń darí wa lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí. Àgbọ̀nra wa yé. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀pọ̀ tí mo kàn ní kó yẹ kí n sọ tó ń dùn wá gan ni pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwa tá a jẹ́ aráàlú tá a sí ní ipò àwọn òṣèlú tó ga à ń jìyà gan.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country, being faithful and committed to the economic development and prosperity of every one of you.
To me, Mr. President is quite a transparent book, an open book that people can see. Whatever they see him do, that's what he does in private. But what he does more is that he studies more late into the night and reviewing things and going through files and trying to think about ways he can get things going on well for our people to deliver on the promises he has made to Nigerians.
We have to make sure this country stay on the right path to succeed on behalf of over 200 million Nigerians. We willingly accepted the appointment. I accepted the mandate of the people. On behalf of delegated some of these powers to you to serve the country.
Nigerians are very hopeful people, and my message would be to keep hope alive and to have faith in this government, to have faith in the president who has his eye on the ball. He knows where he's going. The road may be rough.
Nigerians, don't look back. Look forward. Be hopeful. Be assured that you have a country that cares about you, and you must care about the country.
I marvel at his genuineness and his desire, his depth of knowledge, and his capacity that shines through to how to develop this country, and his love for Nigeria.
We will. We will turn it around.
Welcome back. Now, the issue of drug abuse and its consequences has been at the front burner. The Niger Delta region is said to have had its fair share, and in Delta, the Commissioner Police Monitoring Unit of June 13 arrested 2 suspects with 13 bottles of codeine as well as 23 sachets of tramadol and other hard drugs in Asaba. Bayelsa, Rivers, and other states in the region are also battling this scourge. Now, joining us in the studio is the Akwa Ibom State NDLEA Commander, Mrs. Ubotupasi, who will be giving us a proper understanding on drug abuse and trafficking in Akwa Ibom State. Thank you for joining us, madam. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Now, the issue of drug abuse has been a major concern. Let's start with drug abuse. What do you understand by drug abuse? What is drug abuse?
A drug abuse is the illegal use of drugs, the use of prescription drugs, over-the-counter drug in excess and without a medical prescription by a medical practitioner, basically.
Okay, what about the issue of trafficking? Because it goes
Trafficking is when you're dealing, you're in possession for the primary essence of profit making. That you are involved in distributing, in producing illicit drugs, for example, marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and other psychotropic substances.
Okay, what are the causes of drug abuse?
The causes of drug abuse in today's Nigeria varies from peer pressure, dysfunctional homes, poverty, unemployment, wanting to belong to a particular group,
okay,
amongst others.
Okay, so what can we say that one has graduated from drug abuse to trafficking?
Well, now the linkages between drug abuse and drug trafficking is not far-fetched. Okay. If you are constantly abusing drugs, you also likely will want to traffic them to make profit in order to continue with your drug abuse status. Because I'm sure you're aware that it's very expensive to buy cocaine or heroin. So drug abuse and drug abuse is the abuse of drugs. Drug trafficking is getting involved in possession and dealing for profit making, as indicated in NCAP 30, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004.
Okay, now there seems to be prevalence of drug abuse, especially among youth. What could be the reason behind this?
Like I had earlier said, the youth stage is a vulnerable stage.
Okay.
A stage whereby youths want to experiment. A stage whereby youths want to belong. So peer pressure is key in drug abuse in Nigeria. Dysfunctional homes, dysfunctional parenting, poverty, unemployment, school dropouts are some of the causes of drug abuse in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay, so how does drug abuse, the use of drugs, affect the individual and in turn the society in general?
Now, the individual, the first thing it does is to attack the prefrontal cortex, the cortex. This is where you wake up in the morning, know that you have to take your bath and do the needful.
Yeah.
Now, it affects the heart, it affects the lungs. Now, when you take drugs, you lose your behavioral patterns, the right pattern of behaving. It affects you physically and it also affects you psychologically. How do you know the signs and symptoms? Shabby dressing, absenteeism, violence, cultism, kidnappings. These are some of the vices you see in people who abuse drugs.
And how does it affect the society?
Ooh, it affects the society politically. It affects the society economically. Now, where the government would have used their resources to, place their resources in other areas, they have to make hospitals available, make rehab homes available, make drugs available to ensure that these people do not become junkies in the society. They are rehabilitated and reintegrated into the society. And please believe me, rehabilitation is not cheap.
Okay. Now let's take a look at the NDLEA. The responsibility of NDLEA is to curb drug trafficking. So how has NDLEA been able to cut off the supply of illicit drugs, reduce the demand of the illicit drugs and other substances in Akwa Ibom State?
Now, in Akwa Ibom, to cut off the supply, what do? We do what is called awareness creation. We do what is called empowerment of the youths. We do what is called war against drug abuse. We involved all key population and stakeholders, traditional rulers, to understand the menace of drug abuse, so that when they see something, they say something to NDLEA.
I'm sure you've encountered challenges in the process. What are those challenges you've encountered in the process of fighting drug abuse?
Primarily, the challenges we face are logistical problems.
Okay.
We don't have enough vehicles to cover the 31 states and 31 local governments, I beg your pardon, of Akwa Ibom State. And now that we are having offices, we are trying to have offices in every local government area. We need a lot of offices, we need a lot of vehicles to combat.
How can the government come in? How can the government, how can the media, and also the members of the public come in to assist in the fight?
The government of Akwa Ibom is very supportive, but like Oliver Twist, we're asking for more. We need vehicles. And then how can the people, by giving us information, when you see something, you say something to NDLEA. And then be your neighbor's keeper. Don't say it does not concern me. One family with a drug abuse victim is enough problems, because that family cannot be the same.
What about religious bodies? Do they have a role to play?
Yes, the religious bodies. Most people believe in their pastors or their imams, as the case may be. So the pastors have a lot of role to play in counseling their sheep to ensure they refrain from taking drugs as drugs are no treats, but they are death traps.
All right. Thank you very much for coming to the studio.
Thank
we
you
look
very
forward
much.
to having you some other time.
Thank you for having
coming
me.
around.
Yeah.
All right, it's still Niger Delta today, and with that discussion, we've come to the end of the program for today. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another interesting package. My name is Sifon Ede. Good afternoon.